Avi Hyman is the current Israeli government spokesperson. He's now joining us live from Tel Aviv. Mr. Avi, welcome to the show. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says dozens of Hamas militants have surrendered, and he described the situation as the beginning of the end for the group. Could this be, I don't know, a sign of another ceasefire in the offing?
What we're dealing with now is a continuation of the war with Hamas, which began after the October 7th massacre, when they plowed through our borders, killing men, women and children, beheading babies, burning whole families alive. And what the Prime Minister was saying was that what we're seeing on the ground in Gaza is many Hamas terrorists putting their hands up in the air, waving white flags, and handing themselves over, because they understand that the beginning of the end has started. And by that we mean the beginning of the end of Hamas, because a ceasefire would be surrender for Israel.
Mr. Avi, there is a video showing detainees allegedly surrendering guns and others stripped as part of security procedures. Could you explain to our viewers why Israel resorted to that? Some are saying it was a ploy by Israel to embarrass Palestinians and not the militants.
Well, we're seeing the beginnings of what appears to be a surrender, meaning that many Hamas fighters, we've seen footage of Hamas fighters holding their AK-47 rifles in the air, taking out the ammunition, putting them on the floor, and surrendering to our soldiers. Now, what we see is that we have gone after their leaders. We have taken care of many of their hotbeds. We have gone into places that they never thought we would go into. You know, in the beginning of the war, people said, Israel will never actually go into Gaza. Well, we went into Gaza. They said Israel will never actually enter those terror tunnels, those miles and miles of terror tunnels. We entered the terror tunnels. They said Israel would never go into the hospitals that have been turned into terror bases. You know, like the Shifa hospital, where they had a terror base, and other hospitals underground, underneath the hospital, thinking that we would never enter those terror bases. Well, we did, and we continue to. And we're going after all of the perpetrators of the October 7th massacre.
Hamas says no hostages to leave Gaza alive unless demands are met. Your reaction to that?
Well, we know who Hamas is. Hamas is a brutal terror organization that has taken these hostages, including a 9-month-old baby who's now 11 months, I believe. They're holding a baby hostage. These are the people that we're dealing with. Now, we know that we wouldn't have received a single hostage back in Israel had it not been for our military pressure, had Hamas not been on their knees begging for that cessation of violence, for that humanitarian pause. So maybe Hamas will get to that position again, but our objectives in this war are the same. They remain the same from the beginning: to totally destroy Hamas, to destroy their military capabilities, to bring down their governance over Gaza, and to release every one of those hostages. No one will be left behind.
Mr. Avi Hyman is the current Israeli government spokesperson. Thank you very much for talking to us today. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.